Hello, Leela Viss here to show you how to make these little cute reindeers from old CDs. So first of all, collect a number of old CDs or DVDs. And the very first thing you're going to want to do is hide what's on the other side. So that's when you're going to want to find just some construction paper, not too expensive. I would not use the foam paper that you're going to use on the other side. And you're just going to trace around the CD using a ballpoint pen. Works really well because then you can see those lines, and then you're going to cut. And once you have this cut out, you're going to want to choose which glue to use. I was hoping to use the new, well, it's new to me, the clear Elmer's glue, but that didn't work so well on the CD. So here's what I'm talking about. There's the clear glue, but I'm going to recommend the Elmer's Craft Bond glue. And what you're going to do is find the CD with the cover that has the pattern on it, and then make sure that you tip it that way so that you don't see your lines, and then apply the glue. And you're going to have to be patient for this glue to stick. Now we're going to go to the front and let's make the nose. Next, take out your white foam paper and find a lid that's 1 inch in diameter, and then you're going to trace around that again with that ballpoint pen. And then you're going to cut around that. Now, of course, cutting circles is not the easiest. Don't worry if it's not a perfect circle. All right, there we go. Now, of course, turn it the other way so we don't see your marks. And there's a few little spots that I want to fix. Again, you can be as picky as you want to. Next, you're going to want to make this little mouth piece right there. So use the tan foam paper. And then here's where I use the lid again. This is a little bit of guesswork, but let's see. I'm going to draw a circle here and then around like that. And then I'm going to place the lid like about right there and do that again. And then cut it out. You can just go pretty much right across to the next circle like that. And then make just a nice little dip in the middle. So there's room for this white nose. And flip it over, and then let's see how that looks. Oh, not bad. And if it's a little lopsided, it's okay. No reindeer is absolutely perfect. You're going to need a black pipe cleaner, and you don't need very much of one, so you might have some extras once you cut it in half, and now cut it again in half like this. And you only need one of these, and then you're going to curve that. Now what you need to do is get a brad. That's one of these things right here. So I'm going to remove everything else, put a little glue along the outside edge of that white background for the nose. And then, while you're holding that steady, take the brad and poke it in the middle like that. You're going to have to poke through the foam and the paper right there. Okay, now we're going to pause. Eventually you're going to open these up, so you can do that now. Now don't tighten this brad all the way because it's time to add the antlers. So you're going to want to take a brown pipe cleaner and fold it in half, and then take another brown pipe cleaner and fold it in half again, and this time cut where the middle of the pipe cleaner is. And now you have the antlers that you're going to add. So what you want to do is find the middle like that, and then take one side and twist this around a couple of times so those antlers stick nicely onto the main antler. And then you're going to do the same thing on this side. Find about the middle and then twist. You can move these around just a little bit too. Here is the face. And okay, I think that looks pretty good. So you can see how they're a little stubborn. You got to work them. And that's what the brad will help you do, is see how I tie it really tightly and then it locks them into place, and then you can bend them just a little bit more. So now let's take a look. How does that look? I think that looks pretty good. And you can always cinch these together if you want to. Kind of up to you how you want your antlers to look. Okay, and we're going to attach them in just a minute because they're a little floppy. Before we do that, let's glue everything else on. So here's my mouthpiece. I'm going to use the glue again. Again, be patient. Things are going to kind of slide around, but that's okay. They'll stick on pretty soon. And then you got to figure out, where do you want your eyes? I think right there. It's kind of cute when they're closer together than further apart. And just put a little dab for each eye. Decide where you want that. And we'll try the next one. And if you put too much, like maybe that was a little bit too much, you can kind of start moving around and seep around the edges. So you want to be careful for that. And ooh, we got to add the nose. So now you need a red pom-pom, just a little dab of glue, and just add it right to that brad right there. Okay, and then where's our little mouthpiece right here? Again, this is the best glue for pipe cleaner, so that's why I decided to use it, because the other glue was not holding. Again, this is going to get a little messy. I always have kind of a wet rag next to me just in case I get some glue on my hands. So a lot of that is very movable right now. So what you may want to do is just set it somewhere else for a little bit and let all of those things dry. Once things have dried, you want to attach or stabilize antlers, and so that's when I would suggest putting a little bit of glue on each one of these, and then just take a clothespin just to keep things mounted right there for a little bit. And then that should anchor those antlers for you. And once you're finished, that's when you can add a QR code to the back. And you see that I've printed QR codes, and this is a playlist of a student. You could just set it right there or right there, kind of your choice where you want to. And then they could always write a little note on here as well to their parents about how much they love piano lessons. So there is your reindeer music craft that students can make and give to their parents.